Welcome to GC Cars. My name is Eric and this is the 2022 Infiniti QX80 Sensory. Clocking in at a whopping $92,000 Canadian, this Japanese full-size SUV has a bit of a different take on luxury. But is it enough to compete with the Lincoln Navigator and the Cadillac Escalade? That's what we want to find out today, because just recently we've actually tested the Cadillac Escalade and very soon we're also going to test the Lincoln Navigator, two of the most popular luxury full-size SUVs here in North America. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because we upload videos pretty much every single week and we review everything from budget cars to sports cars and luxury cars, trucks, whatever you want. Anyhow, let's get started on the exterior. And this is a little polarizing, the QX80, I gotta be honest. Some people really like it, some people really dislike it. I would say I'm more in the I really like it kind of camp. We had the Armada, which this is based on, and I criticized some things about the Armada being not very cohesive because it had like very angular kind of lines up front, and then it kind of got very soft and curvy only to end up angular again. This QX80 pulls this off much more elegantly because, first of all, Infiniti front ends always look fantastic. This is Hermosa Blue. I don't know if you pronounce that way, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And I think it looks really nice and flaky when the sun hits it, right? And then we have like kind of this darker chrome grille and accents throughout. Really like how it looks. Of course, the headlights are just beautiful. Then we have this little thing, which was my main, literally my main complaint about the Armada. Nicely integrated here, this little vent on the side. Of course, then we have this very kind of like bubbly shape that the QX80 is always kind of known for. And then going around back though, this is where it gets a little weird, okay? Overall, I think it looks decent, but that's where like most people have their complaints, and I can totally see that. Overall though, I like how it looks. Weird little, everything else, very nice though. Interior time, that's why you spend 92 grand on, right? Okay, getting into the QX80's third row, and right away you'll notice that, especially in this cream color that we have, it is very nice. It's a very nice cabin. It looks stunning and it feels very good. The materials on all the touch points are super plush, super rich leathers. Look at the quilted leather right here. It is very nice. The seats also have this quilted leather, and what you will notice is a theme throughout this. It is that it's really simply built to be a very comfortable transportation kind of like method, this QX80 here, because in terms of like support, lateral support, these seats have basically none. You can see I can just literally slide around like I'm on a sofa in this, unlike some other cars which kind of like hug you a little more, keep you more in place. This is really just almost like I said, almost like a sofa with a little tiny bit of support left and right. Very wide seats, heated, cool. No, they're comfy though. They are comfy. And then we got the wooden, like kind of like this gloss wood literally everywhere. We have it even around the steering wheel, which is really nice. Like this, first time I've had a steering wheel with wood on it, and I kind of always want to have this from now on because it looks nice and it feels nice, and yeah, it's just, yeah, I like this. Only point where I do not like the materials is the dashboard. Could be like, it's not terrible, but could be a little nicer. Could be a little nicer. And then we have the same thing as in the Armada, the switch gear up here on our left-hand side. First of all, the memory seat buttons, which just kind of like popped into the wood because they ran out of space or something. And then we have the same switch gear on the left-hand side as we have in the Nissan Sentra, which is just, the Escalade did the same thing, but it's just a little more money spent on that would go a long way. And then of course, because we're in an Infiniti Nissan product, means that the tech is mediocre at best. Starting with the gauge cluster, we have analog mixed with the screen in the middle, which is fine. It works well. It gives you all the info you need. Don't really have an issue with that. Of course, it's not as fancy as the Escalade or anything has, but whatever, it works. Our infotainment screen though, on the other hand, decently quick. After like 30 seconds after it starts, it's pretty responsive to every input you have. You have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all the features you kind of want to have. Nothing too fancy. I don't think it's the most intuitive to use, but it works. And for the first time ever, literally today, for the first time ever, it never worked for me in the Armada, and up until like this Sunday, never worked for me in any other day I had this QX80. The tuning knob actually did its job. It actually, no, I stopped. See what I mean with slow? I had to stop it twice. First time it worked, then it did it again. So the tuning knob, normally what it does is I twist it, and then it like scrolls one page, and then the tuning knob literally doesn't do anything anymore. Then you have to like scroll with your finger all the way to like channel 100 or something. Not very great when you're on the highway. The Bose sound system on the other hand, sounds pretty good though. Two more things I want to really point out, which I really like. First of all, just like in the Armada, our, oops, almost dropped it. Our phone charger, our wireless phone charger is literally in a separate compartment, completely removed from the cabin. I love this because it disencourages texting and driving. You won't text and drive. It's not like you just quickly grab it and it's like, no, it's in there and it's in there for good. Love that. Great job, Infiniti. And then we have this wonderful digital rearview mirror, which has a stupidly high resolution. Like literally the best digital rearview mirror I have ever seen, period. It is amazing. Love it. Oh, and we have a teeny tiny sunroof. Better than nothing though. But no, so yeah, typical Infiniti. Great materials, very comfy, but the tech just ain't it. Anyhow, let's take a look at the second row though. How about that? Okay, moving into the second row, just like up in front, very comfy, very nice materials, generally looks very good. Then we do have plush seats and plenty of storage. Center console, check. Two cup holders, check. We can access the front center console from here, which is a pretty nifty feature. And then we have more storage down here, which is, as you can see, really deep. So yeah, we also have pouches, so you won't run out of storage at all in here. Like I said, very comfy. And then we have our own climate controls, which look like they are from 2007. They work, but it's just an interesting contrast to the controls and electronics up ahead. We do though have rear infotainment, which means we have these screens, turn them on very easily, and then we have about 1 billion ways to connect them to sources and stream stuff on there, or insert SD cards or USBs. So if you want to watch movies, if you want to play games, you can do that very easily from back here. That is nice. Few criticisms though. First of all, I would love integrated rear shades. That's almost $100,000. I think we could do without like $5 Dollarama rear shade. That'd be kind of nice. And then we don't have any way to slide this forward or backwards, the seats, which is a little sad, but it's not too bad. We got plenty of space, as you could see, but it would just be nice if we could use that to give the third row passengers a little more space, by sliding forwards. And other than that, we can, of course, recline and make ourselves more comfy back here. Very comfy, actually. Very, very comfy, actually. No, this is comfy. Like, I would not mind riding in here at all. But how about the third row? If you buy a full-size SUV, kind of want to know that, right? Entering, very easy. Just hit this, and it folds open for you. And then you can climb in to the back. Now, unfortunately, back here, we do have less space than I would like. I mean, the forward space is all right, but once again, if we could slide these forward, that would be a lot more easy to do. But the bigger problem is that the load floor is so high that my knees are way, way above my waist, and well, on my waist actually, and above my hips. So that means it is just pretty uncomfortable. Of course, we do have this, but I can electronically raise this up if we want to sit a little more upright. But yeah, you can see, like, even me at 5'7", I'm just cramped. I'm cramped in here. Well, I have a nice big window. I would just never be comfortable back here. No, the Escalade and Tahoe, like that kind of a platform, just has this beat by a mile in terms of third row, unfortunately. This is really just small kids third row. Other than that, wouldn't recommend it. But let's take a look at the trunk. How about we do that? Hi, this one's a little tighter than expected. Let me just make myself some room. Nice. So, trunk, yes, hi. We can fold this down. Let me just get out of here first. With the third row back, because this was super tight because we had it all the way back, right? 16.6 cubic feet of space, which is with the second row down, which you can do electronically, we can raise it and lower it, which is really nice. So like that, we get a total of 49.6 cubic feet of space. And if we now go around and pop down the second row as well, shoop, you can actually stay like this. Perfect, because we want to keep it down, right? Then we get a whopping 95.1 cubic feet of space. Less than you get in an Escalade or Tahoe or Sierra, but it's also a little shorter, so kind of to be expected. But of course now you can have plenty of space in here, and you can literally just explore the center console that you ram into the lower back, but like the infinite space you have in here, which is really nice. Let me close that door, and I will see you in the driving part. And now on the road here in the 2022 INFINITI QX80 Sensory, and as always we start off with a launch. So traction control off, we are in auto mode for forward drive, and then we want to brake her down, brake torque and accelerate. 2500, there we go. Sounds good. Sounds good. I love V8s. I love V8s breaking her down. Gosh, she sounds good. So we have a naturally aspirated 5.6 liter V8 producing 400 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque in this INFINITI QX80. And yeah, I really like it. I really like it, honestly. It's made it to a 7-speed automatic, and it drives really, really well. In the city, it is pretty much smooth all the time. I mean, 400 horsepower, you have all the power you need, even an SUV as big and as heavy as this QX80 is. But you have all the power you need. It's pretty smooth in the shifting. I like how it does that. Then on the highway, admittedly, it can be a little sluggish sometimes. Sometimes it just, the transmission doesn't really want to give you that downshift that you might be expecting, that you might want to have. But overall, honestly, really good, and it sounds good. Naturally aspirated V8s, I just, beautiful. Beautiful, even though this one hurts my wallet a lot with record gas prices, and I'm sitting at 18.5 liters per 100 kilometers right now. The Escalade and Tahoe, and I'm just gonna say, whenever I'm gonna say Escalade from now on, because this one kind of competes with like a base Escalade. I mean Escalade, Tahoe, and Sierra, okay? Just the platform. They have a more powerful V8, the 6.2 liter V8, and it's a little less gas thirsty. So this one isn't quite as bad as the Armada was for me. The Armada just completely shattered everything. I don't know why this one's a little more efficient, but I don't mind it. I'm not going to ask those questions because I don't want to jinx it. But no, definitely you will notice that the fuel consumption is bit heavy, a bit higher. But I mean, like if you buy a $90,000 full-size luxury SUV with a V8, I don't think you're too surprised, and I don't think you care really that much. Transmission test. We are at roughly 50 kilometers an hour. What happens if I floor it? One shift, downshift, okay. There we got the torque. It's just like, it doesn't matter what you put a V8 in it automatically becomes fun as long as you can hear it, which I like about this, because in the Escalade, for example, the V8 was much more subdued. I mean, it's a luxury car, an SUV. I kind of understand the aspect, but it's still a V8. Like, everyone can appreciate a V8. Give me a little bit of sound. I mean, it's not like this is obnoxious. It's just like when you hit it, you hear it. But in terms of like the transmission behavior for that test, so downshifted once and gave me like a bit of torque, and then it gave me a second downshift. Would have been nice if it would have like instantly downshifted to the gear it chose in the end there. But still, like I said, honestly, during daily driving, I have no issues with it, except maybe on the highway where it could be a little faster to react. Okay, let's turn onto our suspension test road. Let's see how it's holding up right now. Well, it's not more broken at least. But how's the QX80 holding up? Yeah, there definitely are vibrations. Doesn't have rear independent suspension unlike the Escalade, for example, has. So definitely noticeably more truckish, but it is still comfortable. Like, every bump really gets eaten up. It's a little more floaty, it's a little more up and down, a little more side to side compared to an Escalade, but it is still very comfy. It is what I expect from a luxury SUV. See, bigger bump here. Yeah, I feel it, but it's not jarring, really. But speaking about it being truckish, that's really a theme here. Like I said in the beginning, in the interior segment with the seats, right? This is very old school, which is why you can kind of understand the tech and all of this. This is very, very old school. Like, every steering input requires a lot of effort, not in terms of like force, but look at this, for example. Because the road is going to the right, the steering wheel kind of does stuff all the time. So now it kind of drifts to the right again, and there we go. And now it's going to drift to the right again. This steering wheel is always doing stuff. So also, it's not like a misalignment, just so you know, if we're on the left hand side, it would drift to the left. So this steering wheel is always doing stuff, so you're kind of always counteracting whatever it does. Not really that annoying because it's like a very light steering, but everything is also like very vague. The whole steering is kind of like, yeah, we just kind of want to go into that direction. Okay, if that's okay, thank you. So steering this is sometimes a little like in these old movies, you know, when they like constantly do like this to like, oh yeah, I'm totally driving. So that's kind of how you feel when driving this. For some reason, we're going to do a handling test. Not really explainable why we do that, but we always do it. So let's see. I'm going to do a little more relaxed here, though. Oh, you see the you saw the body roll, eh? You saw the body roll and how I had to fight to keep like my hand on the steering wheel because it's going over there all the way. Of course, it doesn't handle amazingly. But who cares? We just do it for fun. We just do it for fun and to make this V8 sound good. Yeah, this is really but yeah, this is really, I don't really have much more to say about this QX80. Really, all I want to say is going to be said in the final thoughts, because this is going to be a really kind of quick wrap up. The tech, once again, we don't really have much tech in here, just like you had. The infotainment was okay. Driving tech, we have really just the basics. We have like adaptive cruise control, we have blind spot monitoring, and then we have lane keep warning and all that. We don't have any like advanced steering assists, nothing along the lines that some other competitors do offer. But yeah, no, tech-wise, it's not as good as the other ones. But I don't have much more to say here. Let's just sum it all up in the final thoughts, where I'm actually going to talk about more. Let's do that. Okay, final thoughts on the 2022 INFINITI QX80 Sensory. And this will be a little bit of an interesting verdict, because it is not as straightforward maybe as they usually are. Summing up, the QX80 compared to the Escalade, first of all, the Escalade we drove was $40,000 more. I'm comparing to a base Escalade, because you can have them like base Escalade plus a few options. It's about the same price. Or like I said, loaded Tahoe, loaded Sierra, and Navigator's coming. I don't know about that yet. Anyhow, compared to those, the QX80 has less storage, less power, worse fuel economy, not as good of a third row, way worse third row actually, worse tech, it drives worse. It's kind of like, less storage space too. So there's kind of like a lot of negatives here. But I think there's a case for it. As surprising as it sounds, at $92,540 Canadian, US dollar price, as always, somewhere in your screen right now, I think there is small, but there's a market for it. If you want to have, first of all, just an old school SUV, luxury SUV, you kind of want to have a truck, like a truck. You don't want to have all the fancy tech and things. Maybe, you know, you get an Escalade and you're just like, this is too much. Just give me a luxurious truck / SUV that I can go drive from A to B every time and I'll be happy with it. There you go. Literally super easy to use. You'll be fine with it. And it doesn't have all the shebang around it that might break. It doesn't have the air suspension that might break and all that. So there you go. But also, when we look at luxury cars, we gotta have a bit of the angle of vanity, right? A bit of vanity is what goes into buying a luxury car. You want to have a bit of the respect, a bit of the prestige, and sometimes a bit of the uniqueness. Now there's a gazillion Escalades on the road. I love them, but there's so many of them. QX80s though, you see them very rarely. If you want to stand out a little, if you want to have an interior that really wows people, because honestly, visually, this interior is nicer looking than an Escalade. All the quilted leathers just make it stand out. So if you want that, if you want to have a unique vehicle, something that a lot of people don't necessarily see, just like you definitely didn't see the guy just running through my frame, then yeah, QX80 might be the way to go for you. But like I said, for everyone else, there's no logical reason to go for it. Base Escalade or loaded Sierra. Anyhow. Okay, it was cool about it. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and like I said, we upload videos pretty regularly, so if you want to subscribe, if you liked it, make sure to subscribe, because the more videos I get, the cooler the cars I can show you, and you get free cool content in your inbox. It's really like, what's not to do? Subscribe right now. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that. But yeah, other than that, I hope you liked it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, and goodbye. Like I said, Navigator review coming soon. That was a weird outro, and I'm gonna leave this in.